Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we have another brand new Minecraft beta and preview, version 1.20.10.23. Of course, 1.20 just dropped last week, so I'm not really expecting this beta to be all that extreme, but it should be filled with a bunch of small, nice changes that will be really nice and fun for us as the player. So, as you know, in the last beta and preview, they added the recipe unlocking, where if you mine a block that you haven't already, it'll give you a little notification in the top right of your screen, telling you everything you can now craft with that item. Last week, or the last beta, was apparently just a test for that feature, and they have decided to remove it. Now, the next change under that, though, says that it will no longer work when you're in spectator mode. So if they just removed it, I'm not really sure why it now isn't going to work in spectator mode. Shouldn't it just not work at all? But then the next change under it reads that when it does happen, it won't change your crafting recipe thing from all to craftable, like this. So we're just going to test this. It shouldn't work, but the way I'm reading this kind of makes it seem like it might work. I don't think this is going to work. It shouldn't work. Okay, well that stayed on all, but yeah, that still works. Why does that still work? I don't understand why that still works, but I guess it does. Yeah, I thought they said they removed it, but it does still seem to work, apparently. Okay then. Anyway, next up, we're back to the crawling feature. They fixed a bug where you couldn't sneak right on ladders. If you were going up the ladder, what would happen is when you get to the top of the ladder and there's a block above your head, you're going to be forced to crouch and then you just get stuck on the ladder. Wasn't fun. Mainly, the issue was Swift Sneak. The ability that you can put on a pair of pants didn't affect it at all. So here we are with a pair of Swift Sneak 3 netherite pants. And as you can see, when I'm crouching and going along, it's a lot faster with than without. That is also supposed to affect your crawling. Here we are going relatively slow, put these on, now we're cruising. That just was not there last week, but it does now work properly. So this is going to be a really good addition when we finally get it into the full game, with Swift Sneak now actually working. And with the short sneaking, being able to sneak in areas less than 1.5 blocks, they have changed it. It's no longer an experimental toggle because it was actually implemented into the game last week. No need for the experimental toggle anymore. So the very next thing they changed has to do with your player's cape. They claim to have fixed this multiple times now, but it should be actually fixed now. Pretty much when you're walking forward, it just didn't look right. It wasn't flowing in the wind properly. And from the side, the view just didn't look right at all. Personally, I don't wear capes, so I don't know if this actually looks broken or not. To me, the general eye, this looks perfectly fine for a cape. The cape is flowing behind me. I can see it from the side. I don't know what else is supposed to be done, but it looks good for me. However, I am going to go ahead and take that cape off, because like I said, I don't care to wear capes. Next change. There was an issue where if you were on your mount, you couldn't get to another mount unless you had to get off it and get on the other one. You're supposed to just be able to click about like this. There was a bug where that doesn't quite work, and I don't know if that bug is in the full release 1.20 or if that was in the last beta, but anyone playing normal Minecraft, look out for this one, because I'm kind of curious, is it in the full game or is it just here? Also, the horse jump bar, the camel dash bar, all those bars have been properly scaled to match exactly where your XP bar goes. Previously, they got a little bit larger, and it was just a bit disoriented. It wasn't a perfect lineup, and it really irritated people. I would understand, that sounds very irritating. So, for the next change, there was a bit of a change to world generation. You know how when you're walking through your Minecraft world, and you find those trees that are like knocked over with that one little stump on the ground? Well, those are fallen trees, and Mojang has now made the change so that they can spawn with mushrooms on them. Now, I did a bit of a walk around before hitting record here to see if I could find any that I could teleport to. I found 3. I'm going to put the images up on your screen right now because none of them spawned with a single mushroom. So I don't know if this is a bit more of a rare thing to find or if it just doesn't work, but I didn't find any mushrooms whatsoever when looking for them. Next change, the conduit. There was an issue where placing it on the ground did not have the proper lighting, but as you can see, there is definitely a change in lighting when you place it. It definitely gets a bit brighter right around there. The grass looks a bit brighter, and you can just easily see it. I mean, watch when this thing breaks, everything just gets darker. Of course, it is broad daylight, so it's a bit more difficult to see. If we go ahead and set it to night, you'll see it better. There's lights, and if we just break it, it will all be dark once again. Probably should have gotten a pickaxe for this. But there you go, it's dark, now it's bright. Let's go on to the next change. For the next change here, it has to do with crafting stuff once again. So as you all know, the current way of crafting barrels right now is like this, how it is in Java. That was just added in 1.20, but for us on Bedrock, we've always just been able to use sticks like this. And the issue, and the reason they're changing this now, is because even though they added this crafting recipe, the old one was still working. Now, I don't know if this works in 1.20 or not, or again, if this was just the last beta, but if this does work in 1.20, I highly recommend crafting your barrels like this for as long as you possibly can, because that is going to be much cheaper than using just planks like this. So yeah, if you can use sticks, go for it, but they are removing that crafting recipe right now, because it is not supposed to be there. Alright, for this next change here, I don't want to get... Yep, that's the issue. We'll be right back. Alright, we're now back. We're going to stay in creative for this one, so that does not happen again. But as you can see, from this locator map that I just broke, we'll be right back. Alright, it's actually going to work this time. So as you can see, from this locator map, north is that way, west is that way. That is where these 2 bits of powdered snow is. Now, the game changelog reads that entities no longer continue to freeze without powdered snow if there is a powdered snow block near the west and or north side of that mob. So, he's next to him, he's not freezing. If we push him... Oi, this was not a smart choice. I really did not think any of this through. We'll be right back. Once again... Jeez. How about a 4th time? 4th time is the try. So, as you can see, he will start to freeze in there. He should start shaking. Or he's just gonna walk out. Alright, but he is freezing. You saw him take damage. We're just gonna do that. Point is, when he's standing on that block, he is not... How did you just get pushed out? Stop it. Is there a mob in there? I don't understand. Point is, when he's standing on that block right there, he is not freezing. End of story. Done. There's your demonstration. I'm sorry, that sucked. Yeah, we're done with that now. We can grab these enchanted books. This is the last change we're going to be covering right now. The chiseled bookshelf. The correct sound effect is now played when removing an enchanted book from the chiseled bookshelf. So let's put those in. Now get really close and listen carefully. So I'm not really sure how the other books had the right sound and these ones didn't, but they didn't. It's been fixed now. And the other thing with it is that the chiseled bookshelf slot interactions are now symmetrical. Not entirely sure what that means. Not sure how it wouldn't have been symmetrical, but it wasn't. If you possibly know what that means or how that works, then there you go, there's that bit of information. Other than that, there are a few smaller things covered in this changelog I didn't bother to cover, and there were a lot of changes related to the text-to-speech narrator person dude. So if you are interested in those, you can go click on the link in the description and read the rest of this changelog for yourself. But we went ahead and covered most of the big stuff. Oh, also there is one more, where if you had a boat and then updated to 1.20 and that boat can no longer have people sit in it, Yeah, they know. They fixed that. When this next update does get released, that boat should once again work. But I'm willing to bet if most of you had that issue, you probably just threw out that boat and got a new one by now. But if you still have that old boat, it will work after the next update. Anyways, this has been Mr. Gaming Aquatic, and I always appreciate you guys taking the time out of your days to watch these videos. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. It really helps out the channel and just means the world to me seeing that subscriber count going up. We just reached 150 subscribers today, so thank you all very much for that. Anyways, this has been Mr. Gaming Aquatic, and I'll see you next time. Bye!